What's up, everyone? Welcome in the Team Stay Natural group. Tonight, I just wanted to hop on here and start talking about how to tell your story. It's a simple skill that we all need to learn in order to grow our business. There's a formula to telling your story, and so I wanted to get on here tonight and talk to you guys. So if you are joining me live, I want you to drop a 1 in the comments so I can give you a shout out. And if you are watching the replay, I want you to drop a 2 in the comments so I can give you a shout out as well. Okay, so we are wrapping up this week, right? It's Thursday. Holla! If you guys are excited about the weekend, put some emojis in the comments. I'm excited about the weekend, especially this weekend because it's Easter weekend, which means good food, right? I'm really excited. And it's also a long weekend. And speaking of long weekend, I did not realize that I planned this on a Thursday night, and I forgot that my kids don't have school on Fridays. So they're still awake right now. So we're going to play it by ear. Yeah, it's going to be fun. So if you're just joining us and you are watching live, I want you to put a 1 in the comments so I can give you a shout out. Okay, so let's talk about stories. This is one of the number one skills that you need to build your business. And I think some of us, whenever we get into network marketing, we think about our story and we're like, oh, I don't have a story. I'm not that good, or I don't have any results, or I don't know how to tell a story. That's not my strong suit. Well, you're lying to yourself, okay? Because we tell stories all the time. We make recommendations all the time. Think about it. Whenever we're telling someone about a restaurant or a movie, there's a story, and it goes along with this same formula. And we usually only buy something or go somewhere or try something if someone has told us their story or their reference about it, right? So we do it all the time. I know I do it for pizza joints and different movies. Not that I eat pizza anymore because I'm on Rev 90, holla. But anyway, my point is this. You can tell stories, you probably already are, and you don't want to overcomplicate it for your network marketing story. And this is for anyone who is just joined today, or maybe you've been in for a while and you just need a refresher, or you just want to hone in on the formula to tell an effective story. Okay, so let's get started, right? Because the kids are awake and we got to go fast probably before someone barges in here. And I do have notes over here, so if you see me looking over there, that's why. Okay, so do you know how to talk about yourself? The better you can tell your story, the more successful you'll be in this business. And when I tell stories, a lot of times people think that I am wanting people to lie or fabricate, and that is not the truth at all, okay? Your story, your team stories, longevity stories, those are enough. You don't need to add anything. You don't need to embellish them. Even if you're thinking, I have zero story, I have zero results, I'm brand new, I haven't done anything, you still have a story. So facts are important. But they're not enough, right? Facts tell and stories sell. That's why this is so important. Yesterday I talked a little bit about your why. That's probably step number 1. Step number 2 is making your list, which we can do a video on that if we need to. And then step number 3 is going to be telling your story, okay? So it's very important. We're human and we act on emotion. That's why facts don't work. Someone can tell us all the bad stuff that is in chocolate cake, and most of us still go and eat the chocolate cake, right? It's not because we're logical, it's because we're emotional. And so that's why stories are important for our business. We decide that we want to buy something, and then we go look for the reasons why we should, right? Ladies, if you are in the house tonight, think about it, right? Do we really need all the shoes that we have? Probably not. But as soon as we buy it, we look for the reason why we need it. Maybe there's a certain top or a certain outfit or a certain event. So that's how we work as humans. A compelling story is what is going to allow you to attract people emotionally. That means you're not going to be a sales robot going out just spouting off facts, right? You're actually going to be able to connect with people on an emotional level and draw them in. you'll be able to capture their attention with why you wanted to start a business, what you're doing with it, or what you're going to do with it if you are just getting started. And that people, whenever you start telling stories, you're also going to be telling them how someone like themselves can do what you do. So you might have already guessed it. I'm not talking about product stories tonight. I am talking about business stories. Why? Because we don't know who needs a paycheck whenever we go out into the world or whenever we start looking at our list. So I always lead with the business. And if someone wants to be a customer, that's great, but I'm never going to leave the business out, and you shouldn't either, because you are probably missing out on your paycheck if you are. So all of that is going to create an emotional connection. Whenever you start telling people why you started a business and what that business is doing for you, it's going to lead to more connections. Now, yesterday I talked about your why. Your why and your story are not the same thing, okay? It'll be part of your story, but it's not all of it. So a personal story has a formula, and I'm going to give you guys the formula right now. There's 4 parts, so it's really not complicated, just 4. Number 1 is who you are and where you've been. That's pretty simple, right? Number 2 is what has happened in your life to cause you to look for something more, or to cause you to want change in your life. That's number 2. Number 3 is how you heard about Youngevity and how you had to be a part of it. Number 4 is what it is doing for you, or what it's going to do for you, okay? If you guys are watching live, I want you guys to drop a number 1 in the comments, because I want to give you guys a shout out. And if you are watching the replay, no big deal. Just drop a 2 in the comments so we can give you a shout out as well. So, 4 parts. Super simple, right? I hope your wheels are already turning in your head and you're already thinking about how you can work your story into those 4 parts already. But one more pointer I'm going to give you guys is keep it short, okay? Like 45 seconds to a minute maximum, no longer than that. So once you're kind of figuring out your 4 parts, start timing yourself. And I'm serious. And here's the reason why. Because whenever you go out and you're talking to people, I hate to break it to you, but they're more important than you are, okay? And they really don't want to hear your life story, how great your company is, all that, for 10 to 15, 20 minutes. They really want to talk about their problems and what you can do to fix them. So, with that being said, you got to keep your story short, 45 seconds to a minute. You want to get to them as quickly as possible. So you want to say your story, say your 45 seconds, and then you want to get to them and their questions and their problems and your solutions. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example of me for the 4 parts. We'll see how this goes. And then you guys can kind of get your wheels turning on yours, okay? So number 1 is who you are and where you've been. So mine, I guess. Usually I do like a joint story with my husband, so it'll be kind of interesting for me to do myself. So here we go. See, we are all learning and none of us are perfect, right? Okay, so who you are and where you've been. Mine would be, I have to back up before Youngevity. Mine would be, I had a great job as a graphic designer. I was paying bills with my check. And my husband had a great job as well. Okay, number 1. Pretty simple, right? Number 2 is what has happened in your life to cause you to look for something more. So my number 2 would be, I had 2 kids, 2 young kids, and 1 more on the way. And I was just getting so tired of missing their events and, having to be at work to make ends meet and missing out on parts of their life. Okay? So that's what caused me to look for change, look for something different. Number 3, how you heard about Youngevity and how you had to be a part of it. I was actually introduced to Youngevity by my parents, and I knew I had to be a part of it because I had seen what it had done for their life. They never missed anything of their kids, me, my siblings. They were always at the events, and that's what I wanted, and I knew that Youngevity would be the vehicle to get me to the lifestyle that I actually want. Okay, number 4 is what it's doing for you or what it's going to do for you. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 here. So right now what I would say is what it has done for me, because I've been in for a while and I have some results. But if you're brand new, I'm going to back up here in just a second, so hang with me. So what Youngevity has done for me, number 4, is I am able to stay at home now. I make enough money through this company to, cover the kids' activities, which were a stretch before. We're paying bills with Youngevity. I don't have to have a job. I was able to retire and stay at home, and now I don't miss one single thing that my kids have. Okay, so that's what I would say now. In the beginning, what I would say is what it's going to do for me. And that maybe that's you. Maybe you're just getting started and you're not really sure what to say at that point. And so what you're going to do with number 4 is you're really going to paint the vision, right? When you're talking to someone, you're looking for that connection. So you can zoom out a little bit if you need to, but you really just want to paint the vision of what you're wanting it to do. So going back to me, I was missing my kids' activities. We were, paycheck to paycheck. And in the beginning, I wasn't making a paycheck yet in Youngevity. So what I would say is I know that Youngevity is going to be, my plan B, my backup plan, my escape plan from this 40-hour work week that, I'm sick of. I know that Youngevity is going to be what gets me home with my girls and attending all of their events versus going to the 8 to 5 every day and missing it. Okay, so those are some simple examples. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comments, okay? I want to answer all your questions. And I hope I'm not going too fast, but like I said, my kids do not have school tomorrow, and so they are not asleep yet. They're actually watching Free Willy. If you love Free Willy, put something in the comments. So that's kind of it. Okay, now with your story, like I said, you want to keep it short, 45 seconds to 1 minute. Okay, you want to leave out the fluff. Okay, so you might want to write out your full story or what you think your story should be, and you might want to edit it. Okay. This is your job. This is your business. This is one of the steps that you want to take seriously. You want to put some effort into. This is, you get to earn while you learn here. This is one of those learning steps, right? So you might have to edit it. You might actually have to hand it to somebody and have them edit it for you. Because sometimes when it's our story, we're personal and we're attached, and it's hard for us to, use the red marker. I worked in a newspaper and it was hard for me. Sometimes I had to write stories and it was hard for me to see the red line. So I get it. But handing it off to someone might be helpful. You can even hand it off to me. I promise to be nice because I've been there before. So leave out the fluff. With 45 seconds, you really can't have a lot of extra stuff in there on the 4 parts. And then also remember that everything you do and everything you say duplicates, even in your story. So let's say that, you're talking to someone who you want to be a business partner with you. This is totally just an example, but let's say I was a product user first. Something I wouldn't say to someone who is business-minded and, is probably ready to go and join me and join my team and start making money. I probably wouldn't say, well, I used the products faithfully for 2 years before I jumped into the business, right? It's kind of like a kind of moment, okay? You don't want to do that. And I'm not saying you want to lie and say that you didn't use the products for 2 years. I'm just saying maybe you either leave that part out or you just word it a little bit differently. Because we are leading with the business here. So instead of saying that, if you are a product user or you were a product user first, instead of saying that, you might say something like, I love the idea of getting the best nutrition and the best health for my family and getting paid for it, right? It's all truthful, it's all honest, and there's no like car wreck at the end of the story, right? And of course I'm using the nutrition as an example, but you can use it for every single vertical that we have. Jewelry would be, I love the idea of, being able to fuel my fashion passion, being able to accessorize and getting paid for it. Same with makeup. Same with coffee. Same with oils. Same with the services. You can put anything you want in there. And the reason why I say to lead with the business and first, because you can always land on a customer. But I totally just lost my train of thought there. That's all right. I'll find it in a second. Oh, okay, here we go. So when we got started, we needed money. Okay, we came in as a CEO, and we did not have the $4.99. Okay, which fueled us to hustle because we needed that money back in our bank account, right? Which means we were talking to people before we even had our products. Okay, if you are needing money and you are ready to build a business and you don't have time to wait like we didn't, you can start talking to people before you even have your products or have your kit. And this whole formula, I just went through it. I never said a product testimony. I never said what the makeup does for my skin. I never said, the coffee makes me a happy person every morning. I never said any of that. And that conversation might come up later. But if you're really serious about your business, you can lead with the business and use this formula even before you even get your products, try a product, or get your kit, right? Because we're painting the vision, okay? When you go into business for yourself, it's because you have a dream. It's because you have, bills to pay. It's because you have your why, like we talked about yesterday. So that's why I said to lead with the business. The personal product testimonies can come later, and they probably will. And, I'm saying keep your story to 45 seconds, 1 minute. That doesn't mean that that person's only going to get, the 4 parts of your story and you're never going to be able to talk again or say anything else, right? It's just leading. That person may very well later say, well, what's your favorite product? And then you get to go full blast onto what your favorite product is. I would caution you and say that stories sell and facts tell. Okay, so if your favorite product is the TMR, because it's all great, if you love the TMR, put some emojis in the comments because we all love the TMR. But if someone asks you what your favorite product is and you say the TMR, don't say, oh my gosh, the TMR, because there's no artificial sweeteners, there's no gluten, there's 24 grams of protein, there is this and this and this and this, there's a vitamin and mineral blend in there and helps with digestion and okay, I know the facts, right? That does not connect with anybody. Okay, what would be better if you are going to talk about products with someone is to say, oh my gosh, the TMR is my favorite because this is what it did for me, right? It helped me lose 2 pant sizes. It helped me stay full at work where I wasn't eating junk food. It, do some connection points, some emotion, right? Because we're emotional beings. We like emotion. And then also when you're ending with your story, most people just want to know, is this going to work? Can I do this? Is this real? So keep those in your story, right? The truth is so good, you guys. The truth about network marketing, the truth about longevity, it's so good. You don't have to embellish your story. You don't have to make it so crazy and outlandish and unbelievable, right? Because that's what turns people off. The whole get rich quick, the whole be a millionaire by tomorrow, whatever. People go around saying that, and that does not answer those 3 questions. That sounds like it's not real. That sounds like I can't do this, and that sounds like it won't work for me. And that's not what you want to do with someone. That's why the truth is enough. Your story is enough. Whether you're just getting started, you've had success, or maybe you're kind of in the middle ground and you're ready to break through. The truth is enough. Okay, so stick with the truth. Stick with the 4 steps. I'm going to review real quick. Number 1, when you're telling your story, you start with who you are and where you've been. Number 2, you say what has happened in your life to make you want change or to make you look for something else. Number 3, how did you hear about longevity and why you had to be a part of it? Had to be, right? Not like, oh, it just sounded good at the time. You had to be a part of it. Why? And then number 4 is what it's doing for you or what it's going to do for you. Okay? So those are the 4 steps to your story. If you guys want someone to read it and edit it and help you, reach out to me because that's why I'm here. I hope you guys have a great night. I hope you guys have a great Easter weekend. I don't think there are any comments or questions. If there are, I'm not seeing them. I know we've got some people watching like Melissa and Krista and Heather and Terry and Tracy and I don't know. I can't see the rest of anybody, but Linda Moss is watching. So I hope you guys have a great Easter. I can't wait to see your stories. Message them to me. Do a video in our team group. This is a safe place, no judgment. And I hope you guys just keep on keeping on. Have a great night. Bye.